All right, Patriots fans, welcome to another episode of This Week in Patriots Baseball, a podcast. I am your host, Chad Kurz. I'm here with the manager of the 1-0 Washington Patriots, Keith Fischer. Keith, good morning.
Hey, Chad. Good to be here.
So it is game day, game 2. Patriots off a resounding 14-6 opening day win. With a week to look back on it, go through the scorebook. Scorebook?
It's all digitized now.
What is it called, though? Scorebook? Is that right? That sounded weird.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Scorebook?
Yeah, the box score.
The box score. With a week to dissect the box score, any final takeaways from opening day?
I think after getting out there opening day, a win like that is kind of, you want to play the next day. You want to get right back to it. Unfortunately, we had to wait a week, but I'm just happy that it's Sunday. I'm excited to get back out there for game 2, and hopefully we'll get our second win here today.
So yeah, this certainly had to feel like a long week. I can certainly at least speak for myself. Yeah, I was itching to get back out here, keep the momentum going. You had an interesting off week, though. How'd you spend your week this week, Fish?
I was babysitting this week. My wife and I do not have children, but this week we had 3 that we had to feed and get to school and do homework with. So I'm happy to be back. I had a few beers last night to recover from that week, and ready to play baseball here today.
PBRs, I assume, official sponsor?
As a matter of fact, it was, correct.
In addition to kids, though, there was also some other living...
Oh, you're talking about the chickens.
I heard chickens.
Yeah, these 3 little girls, they live sort of on a farm out in Ohio, or at least it's a farm to me, and they have chickens, they have outside cats, inside cats. There's all sorts of chore list that comes along with this household.
I'm sure.
And letting the chickens out of the coop every morning and putting them back in was one of those responsibilities, which the girls are supposed to be responsible for. However, being 9 years old, 8 years old, and 6 years old, they're not very responsible. So one day the chickens did not get out of the coop, and then it became my responsibility for the rest of the week.
That sounds like maybe they conspired against you. They knew that you were the newbie,
yeah,
and they could maybe shirk their chores for a couple days.
I'm also pretty sure one of the youngest one got like a demerit or something, and like had like a note written from the teacher that the mother was supposed to see that like, hey, Julie wasn't paying attention in class, and she pretty much threw that away. I'm pretty sure, right in front of our eyes.
Well, that might score you some points as kind of the cool aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
And lets them kind of get away with stuff. But you got to keep a short leash. You can't...
It's like a sink the sub type of situation.
Yeah. All right, let's reel this thing back in. Let's talk some baseball. An interesting storyline that we were following over the course of the week. The rumor mill for week 2 of the season was really, really churning. And one of the rumors... there were rumblings of a possible catcher acquisition. We haven't seen anything definitive come out of the Patriots PR department, but maybe there's an update you can provide for us.
Well, Chad, we don't really like to comment publicly, unless things are official. We are continuing to monitor the free agent waiver wire.
Okay.
There are players that do pop up from time to time that we have discussions with. This week we thought maybe there was a chance that we were going to have an announcement on some catching depth, but as of this time, doesn't look like that's going to work out. But that's just how it goes.
All right, very interesting. Well, for our listeners out there, keep it locked right here on This Week in Washington Patriots Baseball, a podcast for breaking news, and even if our manager won't directly address it, we always like to churn the rumor mill. So, more to come on that front. Looking ahead to today's game, game 2, eagerly anticipated, the first start of the season for right-handed pitcher Justin DiLorenzo. What have you seen from Justin through spring training? How has he looked in any of his side work? And what should Patriots fans hopefully expect today in Game 2?
I think we're going to see more of the same from Justin this year that we've seen the past 2 years. As a matter of fact, I think he's primed to have a better year because we're not going to have to work him as much and push him as hard. So I think he's excited about that. We're excited about that. I'm just excited to see 99 out there on the hill today.
All right, sounds good, as I'm sure the rest of our Patriots fans and listeners are as well. And in fact, we got an exclusive pregame interview with Justin just hours before his season debut. Let's see what he had to say. All right, we're here with Patriots pitcher Justin DiLorenzo before his first start of the season, Game 2 of the Patriots season. Justin, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here. Patriots baseball alive and well.
So, Justin, tell us first what you saw from the team last week, and as you go into today's game, how any of that might impact your approach or your outlook on Game 2 here today in your first start.
I know from last week having several pitchers come in and get the job done, a lot of small ball baseball, run production. Just seems like there's a lot of confidence on this side of the lines today with a lot of good new kids coming in, a lot of good mature players that are returning, and everybody just playing with a lot of life and a lot of confidence.
Anything new repertoire-wise, mental approach-wise, preparation-wise, diet, fitness, any of those types of things that you're bringing to your game this year?
Well, when it comes to approach, a couple of the pitchers and I, young and old, were talking briefly earlier. Just having the support of one another really changes the dynamic of what's expected out of each outing. Knowing there's 3 or 4 guys that can run up on the bump there and throw good strikes and get us over the hill there really changes the weight of each outing looking into it.
Talk about that dynamic in the pitcher's room. Certainly a high bar was set last week. Does that put added pressure on you to go out with a strong performance this week? Or, how do you kind of build off that and let that fuel you for today's outing?
Well, of course, we always want to represent the Patriots well. The skipper puts a lot of work into his preparation for these games and who's going out and who's got the support role that day. And as far as internally with the pitchers, we really want to support each other and know there's a couple of us that are getting up in our age a little bit, and having the young guys behind us to really carry us when we need it is it's just a benefit that a lot of these teams don't get to enjoy. And being a pitcher on the Patriots, I'm very happy that we are.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about age here. We can just call that veteran leadership and experience and maturity. Yes, certainly. Last question for you, and then we'll let you finish the rest of your pregame routine. What are you expecting today work-wise? Have you gone through kind of a pitch count or an innings count with the skip, or are you just going to go as long as you can go?
Yeah, I think early on we don't want to get the philosophy as going as far as we can. We'll save that for the postseason. But in general, we got a plan. We're gonna work the plan, and if that means 1 inning, if that means 4 innings, we're just gonna keep the plan alive. And again, the support takes a lot of the weight off and pressure from that decision, where we can go with the flow today with Patriots.
That sounds like a plan. Justin, best of luck to you in your first start of the season. Patriots Game 2. Today we got an 11:05 start against the DC Trash Pandas. That's it for now with Patriots pitcher Justin DiLorenzo. Thanks for listening. And that was Patriots pitcher Justin DiLorenzo, Game 2 starter. Best of luck to him and the Patriots today. Quick side note, this is pulling back the curtain a little bit on Washington Patriots logistics. We are stopping quickly on the way to today's game to one of the commissioners. There's multiple commissioners, I think, or maybe this guy has a sub office within the commissioner's office. I'm not really sure, but we're picking up our season's supply of baseballs. So it's riveting stuff. We're pulled over in a parking lot right now, and we're calling the commissioner. This is former Patriot Scott Kelsky. Let's listen in live.
Hello.
Scott.
Yes.
It's Keith.
Yeah.
I forgot to text you on the way over here, but we're here. Do you have baseballs or?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I'll come right out.
I'll knock on your door.
Don't knock on the door. Baby's sleeping. The dog will bark. I'll come right out.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Bye.
All right, bye.
And that was former Patriot Scott Kelski. We're picking up some baseballs right now. And we'll be back right after this. All right, we are back on the road, fully stocked with new baseballs for the season. Keith, quick update. Baby's still asleep. Was the dog barking?
No dog. Successful baseball acquisition mission.
All right, Fish. Well, we are pulling into the parking lot here at Robinson High School. And, we are T-minus 39 minutes to first pitch. Probably start to get our game faces on here, but any final words before we take the field?
Facing a team today that we don't know a whole lot about, the DC Trash Pandas. I believe they're a merger of two teams. I think the Crabs and the Blue Rocks, if I'm not mistaken. So, you got to figure that there's going to be some good talent we're going to see out there today. And hopefully we'll be able to come away with a W, Chad.
All right, everybody. Stay locked right here on This Week in Washington Patriots Baseball, a podcast. And we'll be back with you very soon.